Imagine you're in the year 2002, let's say. Let's say, you got your Game Boy Color, your Game Boy Advance, you're playing Pokemon, thinking, wow, I can't wait to see what video games look like in 20 years, right? So then someone offers you a time machine. You punch in the year 2022, expecting all these crazy things because, let's face it, we were expecting technology to advance, right? We were expecting the games to be very realistic. Unreal Engine 5 realistic, and we'll get into that later. You expect video games to have maybe even holograms, right? Because people really did expect a lot of things in 2 decades worth of technology and advancing. Well, you get into the year 2022, you realize Madden's still owned by EA, not getting that much better when it comes to gameplay. Yes, it made some advancements, but it's nothing earth-shattering, right? You still gotta play on a controller. The interceptions have the same animation where the camera turns. The graphics have gotten decently better, but nothing crazy to the point that you thought it was an NFL game, unless you don't have your glasses on or your grandma walks into the room thinking it's a real NFL game, right? Same thing with 2K. Maybe microtransactions have gotten a little bit more expensive. Hell, you didn't even know what microtransactions were in 2002. But then you get on to some other games, maybe you're sick and tired of the sports genre, and you move on to some of the superhero games. We were expecting a crazy Superman game at this point. We were expecting a lot of different things. Yes, Spider-Man was arguably the best superhero game we've ever gotten, and it was on the PlayStation only, unfortunately, because of the exclusivity. But then we move on to Gotham Knights. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a complete dumpster fire of a game. I'm just going to tell you right out the get-go. If that you wanted to know my opinion, you can click out of the video right now. I'm going to be showing clips here and there, but this is just a disgrace, right? First of all right, no one really is that interested in playing as Nightwing or Red Hood to the point that they're going to buy like a $60 to $70 game to play as these characters. On top of all of this, it's very similar to Batman Arkham Knight. So if you put 2 and 2 together, wouldn't you want to play as Batman on next gen with all of the new technology that apparently is at our disposal? No. And even the technology that is at our disposal, ladies and gentlemen, is quite disturbing, okay? I mean, some of these fight scenes look hilarious. It looks like Xbox 360-esque. And yeah, I know there's going to be some shills in the comments that have already tried to pre-order this game or whatever, and they're saying, well, Cryptix, you don't know what you're talking about, because the gameplay from what I'm seeing looks pretty good. And what did you expect from a, early build version of the game? Come on, man. This is, if you're going to put out a product and hype it up with advertising for pre-orders, don't you want it to look good? I mean, there are some screenshots even in that I could take in this clip. They look so bad. Like, this truly looks worse than last gen's version of Batman Arkham Knight. I mean, if you look at any of the gameplay from the previous Batman, trilogy, this looks like maybe on par in certain situations, but for the most part the same or even worse in terms of animation and gameplay. Like, bro's looking like he's playing on the Xbox 360 back in 2009. You know what I'm saying? Like, this does not look next gen-esque. And on top of all of this, like I said before, a lot of these animations look very similar to Arkham Knight, but Arkham Knight just looked way more polished. You can even see from the ground and just from the reflections and the material, it doesn't even have ray tracing or any of the mirrors. Even at night, you would expect at that point the game to look really good, and it just doesn't. A lot of the reflections from the puddles, they don't look up to par with any type of NVIDIA tech. And I know, I'm pretty sure the next gen consoles have some type of AMD driver or something like that, but there is no true reflections here. It doesn't look solid. Apparently this is only coming out also for next gen and PC, And the fact that this gameplay looks like it's ported from like an Xbox 360 with like an Elgato is just so disappointing. On top of all this, like I said before, who wants to play as Nightwing or Redwood, you know? Like, people are going to not purchase this game at launch. The game's going to have a massive failure because of just the lack of appearance. Not even to start with like that. Like, content I'm sure will be okay, but appearance is what people look at first. And the fact that this early build, yes, I know it's an early build, but it doesn't even have any of the great assets finalized. Like, the animations look clunky. We are like going backwards in terms of gaming, in terms of technology, in terms of animations, in terms of just overall appearance of a beautiful game. If you guys want to play a beautiful superhero game, play Spider-Man. And hell, if you can't play that, get something closer to the product that of Gotham Knights and play the Arkham Knight series. Like, those games still look pretty good, especially, like I said before, Arkham Knight. I've probably said that 100 times in this video, but you guys get the point here. This is a game that's been hyped up for like 3 years, I think, at this point, and the fact that we're playing or like seeing gameplay of like last gen type of technology is just so utterly disappointing for me. You know, at the end of the day, I would consider pre-ordering it or, you know, getting it if the graphics were actually up to par to next-gen standards. But the fact that we're not even getting any of that, like, even the smoke in certain situations looks like it was a game from GameCube. Like, the smoke doesn't even look that great. I know I'm complaining about little things here, but it all adds up to the bigger picture, right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to get at. I'm just so shocked that, you know, these devs are, or I guess I can't even blame the devs. They're working night in and night out. But the executives or the marketing people over there think it's a good decision to release an early build of the game to, you know, increase the pre-order sales. But if it's looking like this, if it's looking like last gen or even like even Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3-esque, why on God's green earth would you release something like that? If anything, it's gonna discourage people from buying the product. You know what I'm saying? I'm just shocked that like video games are going backwards, right? Like, when you take a step back, like, how many video games do you guys actually play? Like, how many can you count them on one hand? Because I can. And at the end of it all, like, there's very few games on next gen that actually look great, that play great, that you can have either casual fun with or, you know, maybe competitive fun with. But overall, they should look next-gen-esque. And the fact that this game that's been hyped up for like the past couple of years is getting the last-gen treatment is just quite disappointing. So, hope you all did enjoy this video. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, comment down below what you think about this. I'm just disappointed. Like, I've made positive videos about Elden Ring. I've made positive videos about Spider-Man PlayStation 4. I don't want to be called Negative Nancy because that's not my type of style. Like, I don't want to be negative all the time, but this is one game to definitely show criticism and to be negative about. Again, hope you all did enjoy. I'm Cryptix. Maybe we'll pick up this game for $20 on the PlayStation Store. And signing off.